Alright, I should be live. By the looks of it. Still getting ready here, so nothing too exciting going on right now. But may as well at least be live so that hurdle is out of the way. Anyone in chat? Or am I all alone? It looks like I'm all alone, but that's fine. That's fine. Ugh. All right. So no one might be watching now, but on the off chance someone goes back to watch this, I suppose now's as good a time as any to explain things. So, well, I haven't really been keeping up with doing game dev lately. I mean, life's kind of got in the way. So, I figure may as well get back on that, huh? You know? Just got the motivation to actually get back to work on this stuff. But a little rusty. So, rather than continue where I was on a 20 game project and risk the YouTube channel just languishing with nothing for months yet longer, or getting back to putting together a devlog for Indy 500 and losing motivation for actual game dev by the time I'm done with that, I figure may as well take a break from that project and do something else. Well, this is something else, indeed. The idea is basically just take a bunch of ideas for games that I could probably make something resembling, and then just spin a wheel and force myself to attempt making something. And in a moment here, I think I'll start putting together that wheel. If it wasn't already so late, I'd consider maybe doing some kind of warm-up to get back into using Godot and all that. But it'll be alright. This is probably just gonna be a short stream anyway, just to lock in what game I'll be working on, and then reacclimate myself to the concept of streaming, because I had to get my camera out for the first time since moving. I moved, by the way. I don't think I ever said that. Since, yeah, been almost a year. Part of what robbed me of motivation for game dev, mind you. It's a lot to try and keep up with that. What was my point? I had to get like the camera out, get everything all set up for the first time in forever. So even if this is just a short stream and I don't really accomplish anything, it'll set me up for future streams. And depending on how this all goes, could be that work on a different game every month for those nice consistent streams. And by consistent, I mean whenever I feel like it, but at least consistent wouldn't even be remotely the right word. I'm thinking frequent. Even then, that's just relative. I'm rambling. I should probably just get to work on this. A little awkward walking through all these ideas without any viewers, but it'll do. It'll do. So the idea, if I pull up the wheel, is to just put together a list of games I think I could make a worse version of. And then pick one at random, and hopefully I am capable of doing that. Or I'll find I am not and figure out what I need to work on. But let's see. Not exactly a very populated wheel, for lack of good phrasing. I should probably actually start listing out some games. So, in no particular order, I've got a list here already of things I've thought of. And a lot of these will have caveats. So, like, I might not be making a very close replica of whatever I end up choosing. It'll just be whatever I can or choose to or whatever, if I'm successful. But in no particular order, if you've ever played Kingdom Hearts, 100 Acre Woods has all the mini games. Well, that isn't really viable in a vacuum just because, you know, it's very much tied to the systems in play for Kingdom Hearts itself. But the later games, like Rechain, I'd have to replay 2 again to remember how those mini games work, but Rechain at least is the one that I thought of this with. But like a lot of those mini games, I could reasonably make standalone type thing, because you got like the memory one, that one's pretty basic. Then you've got the one with like the cabbages and the pumpkins and the carrots. So I'll put this down as KH Winnie the Pooh mini games. If that's the one, then I'll look through the series and figure out maybe a few, assuming I'm assuming there are options beyond what's in Rechain, because I forget past that. I've been playing a lot of rhythm games lately. Last month in particular was kind of a good month for rhythm games, because like we had the full release of Rhythm Doctor, and then on the same day we got both Unbeatable and Bits and Bops. Same day as each other, not same day as Rhythm Doctor, but that's, yeah, words. But I feel with rhythm games, there's a lot of room for complication there, because like you gotta figure out, first of all, what style of rhythm game you're trying to do, but also you have to try and deal with just keeping the audio and the gameplay and all the inputs and all that all synced up perfectly, and then you have to worry about what else? How to deal with player input, because like, what if they're spamming? What if they're early or late? And it's just I feel like there's enough headache there that trying to replicate a specific rhythm game might be unnecessary. Just making a rhythm game level thing, just like one song, one chart, I guess. I don't know. It's a thought. WarioWare is a game that exists. I mean, it's really just a bunch of smaller. I mean, I guess the proper term would be micro games, wouldn't it? But you've got all these games that you you just have to make these tiny fragments of games, pull them at random, and then at the end of a short amount of time, check if you have either met a win condition or did not meet a lose condition, and reward you accordingly, or if that's not the case, punish you accordingly. So I think WarioWare, logically, very straightforward. It'd just be a matter of coming up with a small handful of things, the micro games, I guess. Mario Party. Now that's one with a bit of a caveat there. I'm not necessarily thinking like a full board and let alone multiple boards, complete with a full suite of mini games and having it actually be fun or anything. I'm just thinking the basic mechanics of the going around spaces, choosing a path when prompted, the having turns, different spaces have different effects, and maybe at the end of a round a minigame can occur, and maybe there's an end state. So I think I could put together maybe something that could vaguely be described as being adjacent to Mario Party. Just gonna change the stream title quick, just in case. Game 2. All right. Let's see. We've got those. Aquarium. Fun little game. I'm tired. Aquarium, nice game. I think, of course, I wouldn't be trying to make full game. Hello. Welcome to the stream, Mr. Celium. How's it going? Alright, so Aquarium's another game. I should probably hurry through this. I'm dragging this out. Never seen this channel before, but name sounds vaguely intriguing. Alright, well, welcome to the channel. I'm trying to teach myself game dev, but to be honest, haven't been doing much of that lately, so trying to get back into the swing of things by attempting to make a low quality recreation of a game, which I'll be choosing at random. You started Godot yesterday, doing Scratch about 6 years. Nice. Right. So, Godot making sense for you so far? Let's see what else. So clean out these because I'm not doing them in order. Mostly? Alright, that's good. I mean, the third through the first tutorial? Alright. That's good. Of course, the more you'll use it, the more it'll start to sink in, so. Alright. Let's see, where was I? Let's see. Indeed, experience really is useful. Let's see. Chess is another game I'm thinking of trying to replicate. I mean, nice Smash Brothers. All right. So at least you do have the nice amount of experience with like programming and some game dev. You know, it's just Godot specifically that you're starting to like work with. All right. That's nice. Ooh. Flappy Bird. The thing about Flappy Bird is that I've already done that one a while back, so I don't know if doing that again would be very productive. I mean, I could always do better, but I'm just trying to. I mean, I suppose wouldn't hurt. I'll think about it. After all, just trying to shake off the rust here. It wouldn't hurt just to retread familiar ground. But then again, I'll keep thinking about it. Not a bad idea. Yeah, because the more new things you make, the more you're expanding your knowledge, of course. So, it is good. Yeah, there are benefits both to learning more as well as refining what you do know and all that. And to some extent, both are important, but I guess for the purposes of this, at least, I'm thinking focusing more so on trying new things and all that. I just realized I forgot to switch the scene in OBS to that one. Had the camera off the whole time. That is. Well, now we got that going. All right. Let's see. So yeah, chess. As far as that one goes, I feel like that's. I mean, like everyone makes chess at some point, don't they? Yeah, during a bit, of course, but I mean, it's good to have the basics too as well. What else do I have here? Probably won't stick around for that. It's alright. Best of luck in the figuring out Godot. Hope you enjoy it. And thanks for checking out the stream. That Pickle. That's another game that I feel could be interesting to try making. So I feel like you just collisions could be complicated, but I should probably figure out collisions better at some point. Let's see. Alright, this gonna be a bit of a weird entry on the list, but Wizards 101, but specifically not trying to make an entire MMO. I'm thinking specifically the battle system of Wizard 101, well, with the cards and pips and all that. It's interesting, even if, you know, the game itself, A, this scope is far beyond what I'd be trying to do here, and B, I mean, let's be honest, the whole card pack system is really big Plants vs. Zombies fan. Yeah, old PopCap is they've got a bunch of fun games. So like Peggle and Sanaquarium, those are classics. Pretty much grew up playing all sorts of their games. It's like you've got or something called. You've got like Pizza Frenzy. That's another one of theirs. Game where you get make your own pizzas and then have to try and deliver them, and I was never good at that one. Let's see. What other PopCap games were there? Well, Bookworm Adventures, that was another nice one. Honestly, like go for it. Always glad to hear about new games. You know, I'll add PVZ to the list here. I was thinking might want to save that until after I try chess, just because of the placement of plants being similar to selecting squares, but in a game called Operation Octo. That sounds familiar. Give me a sec. Octo. Is this? I think I've heard of this one. Alright. Free demo on Steam. I'm surprised I forgot about that one, to be honest. I'll have to mess around with that soon. 30 hours. Alright. Only $6. Nice. Honestly, I think I'll just throw down the wish list right here and now, just so I don't forget about it. And then I'll check that out probably right after the stream, to be honest. Wait, no, I can just add the demo to library. That's probably easier. Alright. So let's see, we've got all that. I'm thinking Inscription. Obviously, again, I wouldn't be trying to make the full game here, but I'm sure deck building aspects and then the actual mechanics of placing cards. You have a habit of finding small indie games and learning how to try them? Oh boy. I very much do the same thing. I've gone so far as to just buy random indie games for my friends and just hope that they play them. It's very interesting. Just getting very absorbed into a game and just it is nice. Like recently, I've been stuck on like I've had the game Unbeatable stuck in my head for the past few weeks, and it is just amazing game. Let's see. The inscription, I could probably, because that would just be a matter of putting together a deck, being able to add to it, and then figuring out battles. Probably gonna go do other stuff now. All right. Take care. And best of luck in your endeavors. Let's see. Everyone's gotta make a Vampire Survivors clone nowadays. I mean, should be straightforward enough to make. Just have player, have attacks they can do, gradually unlock the ability to do higher tiers of attacks and all that, and then just throw enemies on them based on the timer. Like, simple enough, even if maybe a little cliche. I'm not sure that's the word I'm looking for. I don't know. On the subject of neat little indie games, proper capitalization. Is this seat taken? Nice little puzzle game. Wouldn't be making a full thing, of course, as I feel like I'm repeating myself here. But maybe just putting together a single puzzle and then just being able to put people in seats and determine if it meets criteria. Mechanically should be a nice little thing to do. So that puts us at 12. Let's see. Out of Space. Again, another neat little indie game that I wish got perhaps a little bit more development post-launch, just because after a certain point it is very I don't know how to phrase what I'm trying to say here, but I could probably make some facsimile of it. Just matter of having rooms and then being able to have them be messy and then going through clean them, have aliens that spawn. Let's see. I have a list of games off to the side that I was thinking of. I'm starting to second guess some of these, but that's fine. Oh, Dicey Dungeons. I feel like you just gotta have dice that roll, and then different things you can use them on. Turn system, I suppose. And then enemies that do their things, and then, yeah. And I suppose traversing a map is also a thing, but yeah, I feel like I can make something there. 14. I'm gonna put this down as Bronzebeard's Tavern, although I could probably list any other similar uh, cooking game, like something like Overcooked or something to that effect, or Played Up or something. Bronzebeard's Tavern is just one I've been playing lately, so that's the one I'm putting down. I'd be remaking it in 2D just because that's what I've actually messed around with, but I mean, it's just a matter of having customers come in. You have certain items that you can do things with, and then they become other things, and then you serve customers, and they have patience or don't, and then yeah, I feel like it's easy to envision how that can be broken down. Boomerang. Ooh. Fun game. You have to throw boomerangs at people. Probably one of the simpler ones on this list here. And yet, I'm not especially as confident in recreating it as some of the others, just because, I mean, the bar would be kind of high in terms of trying to get the feel right. And yeah, I don't know. It'd be fun to try at least, I think, and that's what's important here. All right. Um, got 16 games on here so far. I suppose I could shoot for 20. Wouldn't hurt. Well, balloons. Really just any tower defense that isn't like Plants vs. Zombies or whatever. Eh. I mean, fairly straightforward. You've got a path. Enemies go down said path. You can place towers. Yeah. Balloons was just the first one that I could think of a name for. Or something to that effect. I don't know. I'm not exactly the best with words, in case you haven't noticed. This one's gonna be especially interesting to attempt. Rounds. Neat little game from makers of Stick Fight or something like that. Little game. Try and shoot each other. And if you lose, you get a power up. Yeah, win however many rounds. The actual mechanics of going around trying to shoot each other might be a bit tricky. I can see how the whole power up after every loss thing can play out, so it'll be an interesting one to attempt. We're at 18. I could add 2 more. Let's go with... I feel like this one would be a little too simple, but... I mean... Like, you take turns, then you either shoot or... you shoot your opponent or yourself, and then it's either blank or not. You've got items you can use. I don't know. It feels a little too simplistic, and I'm not sure I really want to bother trying to recreate it. But for lack of better ideas, trying to shoot for 20 entries here. I mean, I suppose I can try and recreate that. And I suppose Throne Fall for another tower defense that isn't a normal tower defense like Plants vs Zombies as another non-normal tower defense. Yeah, just you get the money, you build the buildings, you fight things, repeat. I think that could be replicated reasonably enough. All right. And then, yeah, that's 20 games. I can't think of others that I feel trying to recreate would be particularly worth trying right now. So I'll sit with this for a moment, reflect on it, because if any of these come up, I am essentially bound for trying to make it. So if I'm second guessing any of these, now's the time. Unless I want to just hope I'm lucky enough not to get it. Honestly, I could cut out the entire second half of this list and I feel it'd be fine. But then again, 20 options, that's like rolling a d20, and that would be nice. I feel like just having a bunch of options here is nice, but I think yeah, I'm gonna cut out some of these. Not really too keen on those or that. interesting, but I don't feel like doing it yet. And that just feels a little boring. I mean, I've got chess on here and I'll keep it there, but that'll be our one boring option, I guess. Using boring loosely. That already cuts us down to 15. And that's already, you know, a nice multiple of 5 and all that. Now, would I be comfortable with any of these? I'll cut out rounds. That, eh. I want to think through this, of course. But I don't want to get stuck on something and then have to go through the shame of deciding not to follow through. Hmm. Um, Boomerang Foo might be a little redundant. Because, like, I've already made things like Space War. I say things like, I've already made that Space War recreation. So I've already got something similar enough that I feel like I'd just be treading too similar of ground. But also, it is different. There'd be more to it, and it naturally wouldn't have certain other things. I'll keep thinking about that one. Um, Out of space, I'm not sure about the actual mechanics for the dirt. Just covering rooms with dirt. Because, like, that could have all sorts of different shapes and whatnot, and I don't know. I feel like that's something I'm gonna have to put more effort into figuring out. So, but also, it wouldn't be that bad now, would it? We can cut this down to 10. In which case, I mean, 12 is fine as well. 12 ain't bad. It is a nice number. WarioWare, I absolutely want that on the list. Aquarium, it is a good game. That is not the criteria I'm using. But Aquarium, I think I can break that down reasonably enough. Peggle, I mean, is just have pegs, drop balls, have a thing at the bottom. That reasonable. Plants vs Zombies, I mean, I could have something, I'm sure. If I'm gonna have chess on there, I mean, it's... I may as well just have that there. Wizard 101, be interesting to try at least. It's not gonna look much like the actual Wizard 101, but I mean, you've got deck of cards, you got the pips. It'd be interesting to try to recreate its combat. It'd be interesting at least. Mario Party, again, it'd be barely even a game, it'd just be the mechanics of having a board with spaces and having coins and stars and turns. It is worth having there, I guess. Inscription. Depending on what exactly I'm trying to achieve, it could be. I'll keep it here, although I could easily see things going awry with that. Having some kind of cooking game. Yeah, should be fine. Chess, I mean, everyone's gotta make it. Just a rhythm game? I mean, be a bit awkward because I'd have to figure out like a song and then try and put together things to do and then. But if I pull it off, it'd be fun. Yeah, I'm keeping it. Almost certainly just going to be the rechain mini games. Yeah, might as well. Then is this seat taken feels a little odd to have on the list. It just. I'll keep it there. You gotta drag and drop in different seats and then check to see things. Yeah, I'll keep it there. But it's only gonna be like one puzzle and all that. But it can stay. Yeah, that's 12. Pretty set on these. Can't think of anything more to add. Alright, let's commit to it. So we've got our 12 games here. The wheel will pick one of them at random. And I will attempt to actually work on making something that can be vaguely described as reminiscent of whatever it selected. Here we go. This is where we decide. But first things first, let's give it a nice spin. Just so we can draw this out, get real excited. Alright. Time to see what nonsense I'm about to try to actually figure out. Here goes. Alright. And then whatever it lands on, I'm gonna have to start planning. Oh boy. So there are a lot of different ways that can go. A lot of different ways that can go. But what we're looking at is just having one song in which you have inputs to music. I'm assuming that the biggest problem is ultimately going to be trying to keep everything synced up, what with the music and the timing of when you're supposed to do the inputs, as well as when you actually do your inputs. You gotta figure out how to actually process things. I'm gonna have a lot to look into. I'm also gonna have to figure out what kind of rhythm game. definitely more of a fan of the lower input density games like Rhythm Heaven, Rhythm Doctor. So it'd probably be something of that sort, even though it wouldn't be too hard to figure out the other kinds. Hmm. Just gonna real quickly take a moment. Nope, that's not yet. We're not getting to that right now. Gonna take a moment to reflect on what all I'm gonna need to do for this. So I'll just be right back. Okay. So, nope, no, I don't know. We are looking for that again. How'd that end up over there? All right. So I think what we're looking for is, I'll put that back up so we're not just doing that over that. What we're looking for is there we go. Sorry about that. So we need song. We need the required inputs. Keep song and required inputs synced. We're going to need to, let's see. Judge inputs based on required inputs and timing keep synced. All right. And score grade something. So either perfect S plus, or like just do it score based or something. I also gotta figure out how I want to queue inputs. Because that could be done like Rhythm Heaven style. Something happens and you do something in turn. Or it could be done Rhythm Doctor style, where you have, you know, the line and all that, which is a little bridge between Rhythm Heaven and something more like the more abstract Dance Dance Revolution or Guitar Hero or Unbeatable, where things just approach and you hit with right timing. Because if you go the Rhythm Heaven approach, you have to worry about actually having something interesting that serves as a good cue for an input. Whereas with the more generic approaches, they're, well, generic, just have something approach and then you can see exactly when the thing happens. It probably also will impact how judging inputs works as well. Gotta deal with early, late, spam, missed. This is gonna take some thinking. And they really should have started the stream earlier, because I am more tired than I would have liked to have been. I'm gonna have to get back to this one later. Hate to say it, but I'm not gonna get around to actually doing the game development tonight. I would have liked to at least start, but nah, this is gonna take some brain power I cannot muster right now. I hate to say it. But at least, even if it's an uneventful stream, I at least streamed. I getting back into things, so yeah. Judging by the fact that no one's in chat, there's no harm if I just end stream whenever I feel like it. Hardly even have to say goodbye, smile and all that. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. I'll just end it whenever.